It is officially that time of year where all of us feel that we can be a whole new person in the next year. Everything's gonna be better and brighter, more beautiful until about April. And then we fail sometimes, most of the time, all the time. For me, all the time, literally all the time. But that's not gonna stop me from making goals every single year. And this year, because of this channel, I now have a lot more accountability, which is frightening, but also amazing, because I feel like you guys are going to keep me honest and make sure that I am following through on all of the promises that I have made. I have put together a list of 10 top goals for the year of 2024. Now, a few of these goals are a little more sort of general. They're hard to quantify. It's gonna be something that I'm just gonna have to keep myself honest, hold myself accountable, and sort of decide at the end of the year if I followed through on the ideas, because there's not really a way to measure it. But they're just things that I want to sort of keep in mind as the year progresses, keep in the back of my head as things that I am trying to focus on. And then there's a few that have some actual numbers, and we will get to those as well. For the top 3 goals, I thought it would be fun if I wrote them down on some bottles of champagne. And then when I reach those goals, maybe I'll open those bottles, maybe on a live show, or maybe in the privacy of my own home. And I'll have a little celebration for achieving my top 3 goals. I will reveal those at the end. We're gonna go from 10 to 1 backwards. My least important goal to my most important goal. Okay? Okay? Sound good? Let's do it. Goal number 10. I would like to reread more often. I feel like when I look at my shelves, the amount of times that I see books and have this warm, fuzzy feeling and go, God, I wish I could reread that. Why can't I? I should be able to reread whenever I want. I should be able to pick up my favorite books and revisit those worlds and feel the same excited feelings that I did when I read them the first time. I don't know why I don't do that more often. I do know why. It's because I'm so focused on the new and the shiny and the bright that I am not paying attention to the old and the already done. It feels like life is so short, and I'm so afraid that I'm going to run out of time to read everything I want to read, which I am, because I'm here for a good time, not a long time. But I need to stop thinking like that and just start reading what I want to read in the moment. And if that's a reread, if I want to revisit a comfortable, familiar, and favorite feeling, then I should be able to do that. Of course, it's not something I can quantify, but it is going to be a focus of my year, being more cognizant of, if I feel like picking up a reread, don't worry about the new releases, don't worry about the TBR, just do it. Just do it. Goal number 9 is most likely going to be the most challenging goal on this list. Knowing the lack of self-control that I have, this is going to be a challenge, but I really do want to try and focus on it, and that is to buy 10 or less books a month. I think we all know by now that buying books is a different form of enjoyment than reading books. Collecting books is a different hobby in and of itself, and it is something that I think I use as a coping mechanism a lot of times. I think a lot of us can relate to this. You're having a bad day, you buy a book. Even though you have 300 backlist books sitting waiting for you, you just want the new. You just want to get whatever is out there, whatever everyone's talking about. It is a really hard thing to control. No matter what your financial situation is, it is just always going to be tempting to buy new books. And I think ever since doing my Unhaul, I have become a little bit more aware of what I should and should not be adding to my shelves. I think I've become a little bit better at discerning, is this something that I'm ever going to reread, or am I going to end up having to unhaul this in a year when I realize this was a waste of my money? So I'm going to attempt to stick to 10 or below. Now, if there is a month where there are a ton of new releases, and that does happen, I'm not going to punish myself in any way for wanting to buy all of those, but I am going to really try, and especially for backlist books, just because I hear somebody talking about a book, I shouldn't then jump on Amazon and purchase it immediately. I should maybe try it at the library, read it on my Kindle, or as an audiobook, and if I love it, then go buy it. Again, it's not going to be something that I'm going to create punishments for. I'm going to buy what I want to buy, but I am going to try to keep it in mind throughout each month. And when I hit 10 books, maybe I relax, maybe I wait, maybe I save something for the next month, you know? Goal number 8 is the most hypocritical, confusing goal. And that is to DNF more often and DNF less often. Now hear me out. If any of you have watched my video where I talk about all of the books that I DNF'd in 2023, if you haven't, I will link it. But if you saw that video, you know that I have developed a very bad habit of starting books and not following through and finishing them because I let myself get distracted by something else. And I put them down with the intention of going back to them, not because I'm disliking them, just because I can't focus to save my goddamn life. And there's so many books and so little time that I just want to open them all. Then I end up with 30 that I started and didn't finish at the end of the year. And I don't want to do that again. So I think this goal, more or less overall, is sort of to be firmer in my decisions. So if I put a book down, it needs to be because I am not having a good time and I am getting rid of it. And I am agreeing that that is what I want to do. And if I don't want to get rid of it, if I am having a good time, then I need to follow through. I need to keep reading it and follow through. If at any time I change my mind, I can always get rid of it, but I have to not just leave a bunch of books unread that I'm like, oh, I'll go back to that later, because then they sit on my shelves forever and it's very hard for you to pick them up again because you're like, oh, I don't even know if I remember what I read in the beginning, and do I have to go back and reread it all over again, which happens all the time. So I need to just sort of stay strong in my convictions and really think things through. If it's not fun, if I'm not having fun, it's gotta go. And if I am having fun, finish the darn book. Make sense? Goal number 7 is a channel goal, and that is I had an idea for videos in October and I did not realize the work that would have gone into it to make them exactly what I wanted them to be instead of half-assing it just to put the video out. And that video idea is my reading in haunted location videos. I really truly thought I could read 7 haunted house books in 7 different haunted locations in New York City in one video. That's insane. Insane. What is wrong with me? So as I thought about it, I thought about making it into a series. Books, Booze, and Booze, title pending, because a lot of these places are bars. That's where the booze comes in. There are 2 things that I watch the most often on YouTube, and that is BookTube and Paranormal YouTube. And I would love to combine the 2 in some way, shape, or form. I am not a professional ghost hunter, but I love the idea of ghost hunting. I am a big reader, and I love reading haunted things. So I want to combine the 2 things. I want to make it a series. I want to try and visit locations that are haunted while reading some spooky time books. I think that it is going to be harder than it looks, but I do think that if I put my time, my mind, and my wallet towards it, I think I can pull it off. I do. I am in the process of researching a couple of different places that I can visit with permission to film in. And I am hoping and praying that I can start putting out that series in the new year. I'm not going to make any promises when, because I do think it's going to take me some time to figure it out and get it all together and research all of the locations and all of that. But I do want to keep that in the back of my mind as something that I really want to try and do in 2024, even if I can only do 1 or 2. You know what I mean? Goal number 6 is just a goal that developed while I was doing my unhaul, and that's just to unhaul as I go throughout the year instead of waiting for another massive unhaul. I know people love a massive unhaul. I get it. I love it too, but I think that if I can be a little bit more aware as I'm going through the year, and if I finish something, look at it and go, you know what? I will never reread you. You don't have to sit on my shelf anymore, and get rid of it then and there so that I don't have a massive headache and 150 books sitting in my hallway that I need to now try and get rid of at the end of 2024. Goal number 5 is to finish 6 of the series that I am currently in the middle of. This is a very low number. However, last year, even though I wasn't here on BookTube, I did make a goal for myself to finish 12 series that I was currently in the middle of. And I don't want to tell you how many I actually did, but it's less than 6. So I figured better safe than sorry, make it a goal of 6 series or less. I would love to be able to do more. I think I could do more, which again is why it's on the list, because then I can be aware of it as the year goes on and as I create my TBRs. But I'm going to be gentle with myself. I think 6 is a good number. We'll see if I accomplish it. I think I can, but we'll see. We'll find out. Let's find out together. Goal number 4 is another channel goal, and it's not something that I can measure, so it's something that we're just gonna have to decide together whether I accomplished it or not. And that is, I need to figure out how to maintain this channel as well as working full time. So for those of you that don't know, if you're new here, or if you haven't seen past videos when I talked about it, I have not been working for the past 2 or 3 months because I work in a theater that has been closed. But my new show is starting in February. I go back to work the day after Christmas, full time. So we're back to 40-hour plus work weeks. There is no way I could have done Bookmas if I was working. Absolutely no way. This is gonna be a learning curve. This is gonna be a trial and error, but I do really, really love this. I am having so much fun with this channel and I don't want to stop just because I get busy with my day job. So I wanna really put in all of my effort into being consistent and being creative and putting out good, high quality videos, or as good as I can possibly make them, while still working my day job. So it's gonna be fun to figure out how that's gonna go. We will find out literally next week. I'm starting less than a week from now, so wish me luck. Okay, we have officially reached my final top 3 goals for 2024. These are the goals that I have put on these bottles of Prosecco. If I accomplish these goals, you and we're gonna celebrate, okay? Goal number 3 is a little bit hard to talk about because when I created this channel, it was never, ever, ever about the numbers. It was about joining this book community that I have been such a fan of, sitting in the wings, watching, peeking through the curtain for such a long time. For as long as I've known that BookTube existed, I have watched with such awe and such jealousy at all of the people that are able to create this content because I love it so much. And when I started making videos, it was never about the numbers. It was always about just figuring out how to get better and better and figuring out how to be a part of this community and figuring out if there's anything I have to offer to this community. However, as of right now, on December 20th, I have somewhere around 900 of you beautiful, beautiful, lovely bestie subscribers that have been so kind to hit the little button and to follow my content. I am so grateful for every single one of you. And again, I never wanted it to be about numbers, but because I'm in 900 now, I am so damn close. I am so damn close to 1,000, okay? And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna try and pretend that I'm some amazing and modest person who doesn't care at all. I wanna hit 1,000 because I'm so close, I can taste it. I do, I wanna hit 1,000. So that is goal number 3, 1,000 subscribers. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I will probably still drink this bottle of Prosecco and I will still continue to make content and continue to be grateful for every single one of you that is here. But it would be fun if it did happen, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Listen, this is the last time I'm going to talk about it. I am not going to talk about it ever again, but I had to say it. I wouldn't be my fully transparent and honest self if I didn't mention it. So I've mentioned it. Back to the reading goals. Goal number 2 is going to be a secret between you and me because I have 2 separate goals when it comes to how many books I want to read this year. I have in the past always had a goal of roughly 100 or more on Goodreads. In 2020 and 2021, my goal was around 130, 120, somewhere in there. Last year, I was working much more often than I was in the years prior because of the pandy wandy. So my goal was 100 and I did hit it, right? I slid in there just in the nick of time. But when I have that goal of 100, even though I know it is fairly easy for me to achieve, it is still something that weighs heavily on me throughout the year. It is something that forces me to ignore some of my bigger books, some of my more daunting books, in favor of things that I think will be quick, easy breezy reads. And I don't want to keep doing that. I don't want it to be about how much I'm reading. I want it to be about reading the books that I am desperate to read. Even if that means reading one book the entire month, that's okay. As long as I'm reading what I want to read. So because of that, my Goodreads goal for 2024 is 50 books, okay? I cut my goal in half. That way, it is not even something on my radar, is not even something I am considering when I'm choosing the books I'm picking up, when I'm choosing my TBRs, because I know that that without really, really trying, I will probably more than likely hit it, okay? So my goal is 50 in public. In private, my secret goal that's just between you and me, that I am not going to overtly attempt to achieve, but it is something that I think I could do. I'm not putting pressure on myself, but I'm pretty sure I could do it. And if I don't, I don't. If I don't, I don't. But that goal is back to $100. If I hit $100, we will open this bottle of Prosecco, okay? Together, you and me, together. I am not aiming for this, but I do think, or at least I hope, that I could still achieve this without making it the forefront of my mind. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. My goal is 50, but secretly it's 100. It's 50 in my head. It's 50 as far as the way I'm going to try and achieve it, but it's 100 behind closed doors. All right, we have reached my #1 goal of 2024. This goal I have chosen to put at the top of the list because of how desperate I am to achieve it. This goal is something that I think my Goodreads goal in the past has always prevented me from achieving, and so this year I want it to be my main focus, not the number of books I'm reading. This goal is my main focus. Remember the video I made of the 24 books that I want to read in 2024? Do you guys remember? If you don't, I'll link it. A vast majority of those books are books that I have been putting off for years because of my fear of the length and content. They're books that I want to read so bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of them are giant epic fantasies. And I just think that if I continue to set high Goodreads goals and continue to focus on numbers of books read, I will never get to them. I will never get to them. So I have created a TBR jar. It's coming soon. Stay tuned. You will see it in my January TBR for the first time. I put all of those 24 books into this jar, and I'm going to pick 2 every month. Can I read 2 every month? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I think that a realistic goal is to at least read 1 a month, right? Right? Please tell me you think I can do this, please. So that is my #1 goal of 2024, is to read at least 12 of those 24 books that I have in my 24 for 24 video. I want to do this so bad. I want to tackle these epic fantasies. I want to tackle these intimidating books. I want to expand my horizons, get out of my comfort zone, and I think I can do that. I really do think I can do that, especially if in the back of my mind, I'm not worried about how much I'm reading anymore. So that is my #1 goal, 12 books from that jar. And you are going to hold me accountable. That's your job. My job is to read the books. Your job is to remind me if I didn't read the books to read the books. Does that sound good? And if I hit it, we're gonna open this little bottle together. All right, be honest with me. Out of everything we just discussed, how much of that do you think I can actually hit? Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure I'm gonna put in a good old college try at least for a month or 2. So that's all we can ask. We just have to try. We just have to try, right? That is the end of this video. Those are all of my reading and channel goals for 2024. I would love to know what some of your goals are for 2024, whether they are reading related, YouTube related, life related, just any goal that you have that is most important to you. I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it this far into the video, leave the little lipstick emoji in the comments down below, because this lipstick is driving me insane and I cannot wait to take it off, which is what I'm gonna go do right now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I love y'all so much, and I will see you in another video very soon, probably in the new year, but maybe sooner, hopefully. Bye.